Okay, so now I have added all of the zombies and set them up as well. As you can see on all of the zombies, the simple third-person controller, zombie AI, and these two scripts are added. Alright, make sure that you follow the previous video and add everything to your own zombie as well. Okay, for the zombies, I've set the AI random destination values to 3, 10, and 30, so make sure that you do it for all of your zombies as well. Alright, now the next thing which we will be adding to our zombies is we want this zombie to have a ragdoll whenever we try to shoot the zombie, okay, because zombie was going inside the ground and also it was not playing the ragdoll effect. So in order to add the ragdoll effect, what you will have to do is right click on this zombie, then in the 3D object you will find this ragdoll right here, so click on it, then drag and drop the zombie in there so that it takes the animator from there. Let's open up these bones. As you can see, they are all empty, so if you click on autofill, they will autofill all of the parts in there. Then change the total mass to 80 and then click on create. When you do that, then the second step is to select this hips of the zombie and click on its layer and change its layer to bones. Click on yes, change children. Alright, when you do that second step, now the third step is to add the advanced ragdoll controller component. When you add it, and if you are seeing these values right here, then it means that the ragdoll is applied perfectly fine. Alright, okay, the final step is to open up JU character controller, and then in the death event make sure that you enable this option, enable ragdoll when die. Alright, you can repeat these steps for the other zombies as well. For example, now for this one, the first step is to add ragdoll. Alright, drag and drop that, click on autofill, change this to 80. Alright, after doing that, then the second step is to select this hips, change its layer to bones, yes, change children, and then the third step is to add the advanced ragdoll, and if you are seeing these values, it means that it is added perfectly fine. And then the final step is to open up character controller, then death event, and enable this option right there. Alright, now let's do it for the other three zombies. Alright, so when you do it for all of the zombies, now I'm just gonna leave the first zombie as open because we don't want all of the zombies to chasing us for now since we are just testing. Alright, so just leave the first zombie active and let's play the game. Alright, so the zombie is walking right there as you can see. Let's go ahead and pick up the pistol and then we will check how does it looks. Right, the zombie is walking right there as you can see. Let's pick this up, move outside, and let's see if the zombie okay. Now as you can see the zombie is following us. Alright, and now if you try to shoot the zombie, as you can see now it plays the ragdoll physics, and if you try to shoot the leg or anything, as you can see each part is working perfectly fine if you notice. Alright, so ragdoll is working perfectly fine. Now the next thing is to allow the zombie to have hit force on the player, okay, enable to in order to deal damage to the player. So the player has this JU health right there. Alright, now in order to make the zombies damage the player, let's enable all of the zombies. Let's select the first one, and if you turn on the gizmos, alright, now what we're gonna do is right click, click on create, and then right here click on quick setup, and then click on add, and then right here select this setup character hit boxes. When you click that, as you can see it added these boxes. Alright, so now when these boxes hit player, it will deal damage to the player. Alright, so when you add them, Then I will show you where you can find all of these hitboxes, as you can see right here. Okay, so this is the left leg box, and then you can find the right leg in the other, and the same for the hands. Alright, so let's do the same to the other zombies as well. So right click, create, quick setup, add character hitboxes. There they are. We will resize these hitboxes once we add them to all of the zombies. Alright, so let's add it to this one now. Add character hitboxes. Then the same for this one. And then to this zombie right here. Alright, now in order to resize them, let's search for hitboxes. Okay, so this hitbox and this hitbox is for the player. We just gonna ignore that and get towards this hitbox. Okay, so now we need to resize it. So I'm just gonna make it, let's just say 4.4 and then 0.4. Yep, you can do the same for the next one. 0.4, 0.4, 0.4. Alright, now as you can see, it's right there in the player feeds, these two hitboxes, this one. So let's just move it a little bit up. Alright, and let's do the same for the next one. Move it up in the same direction. Now let's double click on this one. Okay, it's this zombie hitbox. Yep, let's resize them to 4, 4, and 4. Alright, and now as you can see, they are away from the the zombie hands. So just make sure the zombie hand is fully covered in there. Okay, if you can't see, here it is. Alright, let's do the same for this one. Move it right there. Okay, then we have these feeds. So 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, and move them up a little bit. That's it. Alright, now for this zombie, select both of the hand hitboxes, change it to 4, 4, and then select the hand hitbox right there, move it according to the hands like that. Alright, then select the feet hitboxes and then move them up a little bit. Now it's this zombie right here. Alright, change it to 0.4, then select the first one, make sure it covers the whole hand. The same for the other side, and then for the feet. Alright, let's now select this zombie, which is right here. So 4, 4, and 4, and then I can't see this hand. Okay, so for this one we will move it right here. Okay, because this zombie has one hand which is cut in the middle. Alright, and for this one we just gonna leave it right there. Then for the feet, alright, now this is the player head box. Alright, now it's this zombie right here. Okay, and this zombie feet are done, but just the hands. So 0.4, let's select this hand. Okay, right there, move it, and then the same for this side. That's it. Alright, now once you are done with this, let's turn off the gizmos, and we need to set up the attack time for all of the zombies. So if we select all of the zombies right here, as you can see, we have this minimum time to attack and then maximum time to attack. Let's set the minimum to 1 point, let's just say 2, and the maximum is good. Alright, and also it deals a lot of damage. Let's check the hitbox actually first of all and see how much damage it does. As you can see, it does 30 damage. Alright, so you need to select all of the hitboxes in except the player one. If you notice, the player hitbox has just blue icon and the other one, which are for the zombies, has this plus sign. Okay, so select all of these and change the damage to, let's just say, 15. Alright, that's it. Now we can go ahead and play the game. Here we are. Let's now move towards the zombie. Alright, the zombie is right there. I was just checking the zombie animation and it's good. Alright, now as you can see, the zombies try to hitting us and will try to chase us. Let's now stop. Okay, now as you can see, it is dealing damage to the player. Alright, but if you notice, there was a lot of damages, and that is because there are hitboxes on the player feed. So when that hitboxes try to get trigger with the player, it also done damage. So we need to remove the triggers from the zombie feeds. Alright, so let's type hit box in the hierarchy and let's check all of them one by one. So turn on the gizmos so that we can see, okay, this is a feed hitbox and the next one as well. So just simply delete them. Alright, so I'm just gonna delete. Now let's double click on this. Okay, these are the hands hitboxes, we don't need to delete that. Okay, then the next two is the feet, so delete them. Now these are the hands and then these are the feet, delete them. Alright, hands, and then where is it? Okay, hands and hands. Let's double click right here. Okay, these are the feet. Alright, delete them. Okay, hand, hand, hand. Okay, let's double click on this. Okay, it's hand hitbox. That one as well. Alright, so I think all of the zombies have now just hand hitboxes. But this zombie right here has 1 feet hitbox. Let me check which one is it. Okay, I think these first two. Yep, now. Hand for this zombie, hands, hands, hands. Alright, yep. So when you do that, then you can now go ahead and test it out and it will work perfectly fine. And if it still do double damage, then you can decrease the hitboxes sizes. Alright, because the zombie is really close to the player, so that's why it deals double damage. Okay, so now with our zombies ready up right here, as you can see, all the zombies have controllers and also now the ragdoll physics, and also the zombies deal damage to the player, also the player deal damage to the zombie. And with this done, let's end this video right here.